What's going on, everyone? This is Dime Dropping Sports, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 UFC fighters of all time. This goes by every weight class and just whoever the best pound-per-pound fighter is, women, men, whatever. We're going to be going through all 10 in my opinion, and the three honorable mentions I have down are Kamaru Usman, BJ Penn, and Chuck Liddell. So let's get right into the top 10. For number 10, I have Randy Couture. He was 19-11 and he participated in 16 title fights within his career. He's absolutely unbelievable. He's one of the best players that have ever been in the octagon and will go down as a top 10 greatest of all time until somebody else new comes and takes the spot. But for now, it's definitely Randy. The man was a freak in nature, and he still is. You do not want to mess with this man, and that's why I have him at number 10. For number 9, I have one of my personal favorite fighters. Sadly, he was hit by a train, but that doesn't damage his legacy at all. The man is still top 9, and he is Matt Hughes, who went 45-9. He's a UFC Hall of Famer and a two-time welterweight champion. The man was bad, man. You do not want to mess with this guy. Sadly, he can't do any more, but that doesn't damage what he already has done, and geez, was it special. This man was one scary guy and definitely one of the best in the welterweight division, if not the best. This guy, wow, I'm sad what happened to him, but his career was just amazing. He was a great wrestler, man. He was one of the best, and that's why I have him at number 9. At number 8, I have Conor McGregor, another one of my favorites. He's 22-5 and a two-time UFC champion. He's the first ever fighter to hold two belts simultaneously in the lightweight and featherweight division. Everybody knows him. We've seen him against Diaz. We've seen him against all these fighters, and he's one of the best strikers I've ever personally seen. He runs whatever division he's in. You saw him against Cowboy. You saw what he just did to that absolute legend. He gave him one round, not even a full round, just 15 seconds about, and he's done. So everybody knows McGregor, and everybody knows why he's up at number 8. Among women, Amanda Nunes has the most wins, the most title fights, and she has not lost a fight since September of 2014. This is the woman that took Ronda Rousey off the planet to put herself on it. She runs women. I think she should be able to fight guys because she is the best pound-for-pound fighter that a woman has ever been. She is just unbelievable. She was 21-4 so far, and whoever fights her now shouldn't do it, man. They should just think twice before going to the hospital because nobody on earth can beat Amanda Nunes unless they have a weapon, or if they're any of these 6 people above her. No way Amanda Nunes wasn't going to make this list. She's a revolutionary fighter, and that's why she deserves to be number 7. Even though she's not a man, she deserves it. My guy, Daniel Cormier, 22-3. Olympic winning wrestler, UFC champion. He has all the accolades you can ask for. This guy built his division. He built it so not everybody has to be huge and tall. Everybody could be a little small and still beat the big guys because Daniel Cormier did it first. Daniel Cormier, always a show to watch him every time he goes out there. He's good. Besides 3 times he lost, but those were against either Jon Jones or Stipe, and those were both great fighters. Jon Jones obviously beat his head in, but we do not talk about that when it comes to Daniel Cormier right now. Daniel Cormier deserves this spot because of how he's done in his career. Not even just in the UFC, he's proven everything. He's proven everything in his wrestling ability outside of the UFC, and he obviously implemented it in the UFC. So that's why nobody can stop him wrestling, because he's already done it overseas in the Olympics and all that, where not a lot of wrestlers in the UFC have been. So that's why he's up here, because he has so much experience and he used in the UFC, and that made him great. So, yeah, Daniel Cormier. Before we get to Mighty Mouse, who is the number 5 spot, I just want to say thanks for making it this far. And these top 5 are going to be very controversial for some people. Some people can make any case for these top 5 guys to be number 1. So this is based on my opinion, what I've seen, what I think. So don't come at me in the comments. If you disagree, let me know though, because any of these top 5 guys can be number 1, and I agree with you. I just think that some of these guys are better than others, but it's okay if you think differently. So number 5, obviously, Mighty Mouse Demetrious Johnson, who's 27-3-1. This guy was no joke, and again, considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of all time. That's why I have him inside the top 5. He was a little guy, but hit like a big man. I couldn't even believe taking a punch from him, and there's not really much to say, but he was amazing when he fought, and I'd love to see him fight again. So, yeah. Now, I know this will get a lot of people mad since he's 29-0, but I still have him all the way down at 4. Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong, but yeah, Khabib beat every single fighter he's fought, but McGregor did give him a run for his money, but he did win. Andy beat Gaethje, and he's beaten all-time greats, and he's never lost. That's crazy. Not a lot of fighters can say that when they've fought about 30 fights. So that's why he's so impressive. He's just an amazing wrestler, probably the best wrestler of all time, I would say it. This guy's just no joke. He was wrestling baby Russian bears when he was little. It really just shows how much of a great fighter he is, that he can wrestle legit bears that can tear people's heads off for fun. A man does not stand in this man's way if he can wrestle a bear. I don't know what I'm going on about, but I hope you get what I'm saying. He trained the best fighter of all time, Hasbulla, and yeah, so I have Khabib down at number 4, but you can definitely make the case for him top 3, top 2, top 1, but yeah. At number 3, I have a guy who I think's prime was probably the best prime in fighting history, including boxing, UFC, Bellator, anything you can think of. I don't think any fighter's prime was as good as Anderson Silva's. He just fought way too long, which has him down at number 3 for me. He was 34-11 in his fighting career. I just don't think that I can put him above these top 2 guys, just because he prolonged his career so much where he just started losing a ton, and started looking like a bum near the end. But you still got to respect the guy, put him top 3 for his prime, and just how great he was when he was fighting. Yeah, so the Spider, what a great fighter, just didn't retire at the right time. Another controversial one, but at the number 2 spot, I have Georges St-Pierre, one of the greatest Canadian athletes of all time, if not the greatest. He was 26-2 in his MMA fighting career, and everybody knows this guy. He's a well-known name. He's won belts. We know that. Just St-Pierre is one of those guys where I'd love to put him against anybody and say who's going to win. He's just so great at what he does. He makes the art of fighting just so much better with him in it. Everybody wants to see St-Pierre. They'll tune in, pay the money to see it. They'll go over their friend's house that's paying to see it. They'll throw everything out the window to go see St-Pierre. They will reschedule their wedding if Georges St-Pierre is fighting at the same time. So you get it. The guy's just entertaining. Everybody wants to see him fight. He's not one of those guys that just kind of roll around the whole time. He will knock a guy out every single time he fights. He's just fun to watch, and he's only lost twice. So, yeah, St-Pierre is number 2 for me, even though he is on a whole different level as most of these fighters. Now, number 1. Call me biased all you want, but my favorite fighter ever is Jon Jones. My second is Sean O'Malley, but he's obviously not on this list. The guy should be 27-0. His only loss in his career was a disqualification. That was a 12-6 elbow that just shouldn't have been called. Everybody knows he won that fight. He was winning the fight before he got disqualified. But yeah, Jon Jones technically 26-1, but everybody considers him 27-0 because everybody knows he shouldn't have got disqualified. Or he should have got disqualified, but everybody knows he won that fight. Nobody really counts that loss. Jon Jones, just a whole different level of fighter. Put anybody in front of him, he'll beat them. Ngannou, hopefully he's fighting soon. That would be an awesome fight that I would definitely look forward to. Daniel Cormier, that I was talking about earlier, remember how great I said he was of a wrestler? Well, guess what? He lost to this guy. Just this guy, you can't even really describe him. He's on a tier where he's above George St. Pierre somehow. George St. Pierre's on a whole different tier of everybody else on this entire list. Jon Jones even higher. Jon Jones, I would love to... If I could pick anybody to save my life, I would pick this man. The man that nobody can beat unless you got a guy to stop it. Nobody in the world I would take... He could even beat the greatest boxer of all time, Jake Paul. So, yeah, that's why I'm at number 1, because I do not see anybody in the world ever of all time go against this guy and actually come out alive. If there was a ref stopping it, they'd come out alive. But if there was no ref and it was just one-on-one deathmatch, I would take Jon Jones any day of the week. I would add an extra day of the week and still take him. If there was 8 days in a week, Jon Jones would win 9 of those days. Jon Jones is just so good at everything in UFC MMA that it's so crazy that they even let him here, because he's on a whole different level. So, yeah, obviously he's number 1. I don't think anybody is really going to debate that. Hope everybody enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. It's very appreciated. It helps us out a lot. Same with the subscribe button. It helps out a lot. And you'll be able to watch me rant about Jon Jones beating Jake Paul. So, yeah, we do a lot of fighting content if you're into it. We do hockey. We do football. We do everything you think of. NBA. We haven't done some things. We have not. The only sport I believe we have not done is like golf and tennis. So, yeah, if you're into golf and tennis, let me know in the comments. I'll make a golf and tennis video. I know some golf and tennis. But yeah, comment. I know a lot of people everybody has a different opinion in the UFC industry, because it's a lot different than different sports. Just because the way fighters fight is all different for everybody. You got wrestlers, you got strikers. But just let me know who your GOAT is, because a lot of people think Khabib, a lot of people think St. Pierre, a lot of people think Silva, and I've met some people that actually think Cormier. I don't mind what you think. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and I want to hear it. I'm very intrigued by different people's opinions. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and just, yeah, keep on keeping on as always. Peace out, everybody.